This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food. The City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself.
Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's debate here at LynnCAM TV. It is a town hall debate for the city Councilor-At-Large Candidates. And the audience that's here tonight, we request you do not applaud, yell, whistle, cheer, or boo at any time during the debate. And at the end of the program, you'll have an opportunity to applaud for the candidates here tonight.
Now, as to the candidate rules, each of you will have an opening statement of a minute and a half, and then we will be asking each of you 4 questions. Going up and down the line, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, and there will be a response time, a 1-minute response?
Yes.
And then after that, we go to...
Questions from the audience.
And how is that going to work?
Each question asked by the audience member will be directed specifically to whatever candidate you choose, and then they'll have 1 minute to respond to you. And depending on how much time we have, it will vary how many questions we can take from the audience.
And then we're going to have a call-in.
We are.
And the number here is?
781-596-9641. And I failed to recognize that this is Joe Spina, for those of you who don't know, from City's Voice. And I am the Executive Director at LynnCAM, Cassie Vitale. So thank you for tuning in tonight.
And I must say this, I'm the timer tonight.
Yes.
So I may not do that good a job because I'm not very good. This is my first try, so you have to bear with me. But let's introduce the candidates and give them an opportunity to spend a minute and a half. Cassie, go down the line there.
Okay, so we'll start with Miguel, and don't forget to time him. Miguel, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. Everybody, thank you for being here tonight. I'm very pleased to be here and introduce myself. Like I said before, I'm not a politician, but I'm a concerned citizen here to see how we can have this city move forward, actually. Thank you.
Okay. So he sounds like Katerina?
Yes. Hello, my name's Katerina Penagiotakis-Koudanis, and I'm running for Councilor-At-Large because I just have a big heart for my hometown. I was born in former Lynn Hospital. I grew up in different neighborhoods in Lynn, and I have a background in architecture and planning, which I want to share and just offer a different perspective to council. And many of my goals are around master planning, and some of those a little in detail could be seen better on a website that I have placed, cityoflynnconcepts.com.
Okay, and then Han?
Good evening. My name is Hong Nat. As you know, I came to Lynn 15 years ago. And I came to the United States about 30 years ago. And I got married 15 years ago to my wife right here, Tara. And we have 2 small children who are in Lynn public schools. I was elected to the city council 2 years ago. And thank you very much for your vote. And I am working for Massachusetts Department of Revenue as a child support enforcement specialist. And the reason I run for re-election for City Councilor-At-Large because I want to continue to help to build our city together with our citizens and with my colleagues, with whoever's concerned for our city. So, and I hope I have do a good job, and I hope you appreciate that. And thank you so much.
Clay.
Hello, Cassie. Hello, Joe. Good evening, everybody. My name is Robert Clay Walsh. I'm 36 years old. I live in Lynn. I'm a graduate of St. Mary's High here in Lynn, Endicott College. I work with my brother and father at our family business, Walsh's Oil. I also bartend part-time in the evening in Beverly. I have been very active in the community. I've served on the Friends of Lynn Woods Board, the Knights of Columbus Board. I volunteered with Island Santa, LYSOA, and recently been trying to help with the Veterans Appreciation Day Parade coming up in September here in Lynn. I've also been the neighborhood plow guy working with the DPW in the downtown Lynn neighborhood for the past 3 years. Just as my father started Walsh's Oil here in Lynn, and my uncle started John's Oil here in Lynn, and my other uncle started the new Aquasino down on our waterfront, I too wish to make my mark on the city of Lynn as your next Councilor at Large. Thank you.
Dan?
Hello, residents of Lynn. My name is Dan Cahill. I'm running for City Councilor at Large, and I hope you consider me for one of your 4 votes come November 5th. I'd run for re-election because I am tremendously passionate about the City of Lynn and the job that I do. I want to thank all of you out there who have voted for me in the past, who've given me the esteemed honor of serving as your City Councilor at Large, and I hope you've considered that I've done a good job, and I'd like to talk more about my record this afternoon, but I also want to thank our hosts tonight, LynnCAM, our sponsor, Old Time Italian Cuisine, of course, my former teacher, Joe Spina, he always likes when I plug him like that, and Cassie Vitale, and much appreciation to the audience today. And I got to give my hat off to all the candidates here before us today. They put a lot of time into campaigning. It's not easy, your time away from your family, and it's because these people, including myself, care deeply about the city. I live in Lynn, I'm a homeowner. My wife and I live on Bel Air Road. And Bel Air Ave, she's gonna get mad at me for that one. And we have a daughter, and we have one on the way, and I just want to make sure I leave this city a better place than what I had. I got belt first.
And Brendan.
Thank you, Cassie, and thank you to Joe as well, and all the audience here tonight as well as at home. I think it's so important that all of you stay involved throughout this whole campaign and election process. A number of great races that are certainly going to affect the way the city is run over the next couple of years, including the mayoral race, city council, some ward races, school committee, and I think most importantly the vote in the primary on the new Marshall School, which I'm sure we'll talk about later tonight. It's been an honor for the past 4 years to serve as Ward 5 City Councilor. I love the job. I get more and more passionate about it every day. I think my priorities have always been around helping my constituents and improving neighborhoods, and that's something that I'd like to apply to the role of Councilor at Large as well. And I think in order to do that, we're going to need to work very hard as a city to focus on economic development opportunities to increase some new revenue, which would enable us to provide the services that I think all Lynn residents feel they deserve, and they do deserve. So it's an honor to be here again. Really like to get started and hear from the audience, the moderators, and get going. So thank you.
Well,
So thank
I
you.
guess we're going to go to the questions, and it's appropriate that you've mentioned economic development and budgetary concerns because that's going to be the first question, and it will go right to you in reverse order. Okay. In fiscal 2013, Lynn's total indebtedness is approaching about 20% of the city's budget, which puts a great deal of strain and pressure on the city's ability to provide basic services. Given that fact, is it prudent for the City Council at this time to approve adding an additional $20 to $25 million to Lynn's indebtedness in order to build a new school?
Well, Joe, I do agree that it certainly seems like a lot of money on the table. I think anytime you're dealing with bonded money, with borrowed money, there's ebbs and flows in that cycle. And I know from sitting down with our chief financial officer and a number of other financial officers in the city that, in fact, we're in a very good position to bond. During the last council session, we bonded for $4 million to improve infrastructure throughout the city. And that was a result of very low interest rates at the time, a very high bond rating, and the ability to do so. So even with that $4 million that we bonded last year, we were well suited to bond for the capital needs of the new Marshall Middle School. And I think that it's something we knew was coming up, and it is responsible for capital needs to make these types of borrowing, which are essentially investments in our community. Thank you. I can see the bell ready to ring.
Thank you, Joe. So we're talking about kind of two different things. So we're talking about city pension obligations, which has been paid out to people who have worked for the city, have paid into the city system. And I don't think Lynn is unlike many other urban districts and or many municipalities throughout the Commonwealth that has large city services. And there are many reforms that have been put in place that are continuing to be put in place at the state level. This is a Chapter 32, which is the Massachusetts General Laws that addresses public pensions. And as far as a city is concerned, we have an obligation. Of course, we're always worried about where our money is going. However, that's an issue that we were working with the state officials to try to remedy to ensure that we can afford and pay out the many services, pension services that we are obligated to do. As far as our bonding, I'd just like to echo what Councilor Crichton had said. We are in a good fiscal place right now. We are able to take advantage of using the state's bond rating, even though the bond rating for Lynn has improved. And it's important to build new schools. If we can't build new schools, we're not going to attract anybody to pay taxes here in the future.
Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. You're asking, should the voters be supportive of us on the vote in the primary to go forward with this money?
Yes.
That's the essential question. I'm absolutely 100% behind voters getting behind this. If we want to see the city grow and improve, we got to start with our schools. When young families are looking to buy a new home, and right now I think the real estate market's decent here in Lynn, the second thing they're going to ask is, how is the school system? And if I had to pick one investment to stop putting on money, to tell the taxpayers this is where we have to begin, it's definitely to get behind this Marshall Middle School. Looking back in the past, we had some errors with the classical high school. The Marshall presents us an opportunity to do things right. Was on the phone with Rick Starboard this morning, school committee member, asked him a little bit about this. And this is an opportunity for the city of Lynn to start to make a change. We get 80% of the funding back. This is a must for the voters.
I agree with a lot of with my colleagues and Clay. Yeah, so right now we're in a good, we do pretty well regarding money-wise. And we also have some free cash in hand as well. It's about $6 million right now. And like Brendan said, we took a very nice bond for $4 million to improve our parks and playgrounds. And also, we are in the process of building a new school, Marshall School. It's very important because we need good school. And like Clay said, yeah, we will get reimbursed by the state for 80%, which is wonderful. And I think it's very important that we look at what we can spend on right now, and we're doing pretty well. And I applaud the hard work by our leaders.
I actually want to take a step back from the question and look at why have we gotten to this point. My question is, where is the maintenance? It seems to be lacking balanced in the budget. Many of the schools are depreciating, so that means to me that we haven't been keeping up with our public buildings. And one of my questions I have for the new school is, it seems to me, from understanding, we're putting 110-foot piles underpinning under the entire school and a turf roof. It seems like a high maintenance building. I mean, many people don't want to get in high maintenance relationships, but this is going to be one relationship that we need to not make a mistake on, and we need to be careful for our future decisions. And looking at the past, we need to correct the maintenance issue.
Education to me is actually something that I do care and very much, and I know everybody here in this panel will have probably the same answer. But education in Lynn has been a one long forgotten issue that we waited until the building is crumbling down for us to come forward and do something. Something needs to be done, and it needed to be done at least 20 years ago, not today. We need to hire the professionals that know actually what they're doing and not actually invest in a school like classical that after that we invested about $80 million in the high school is now probably has 2 basements actually sinking down to the ground. My daughter went there, and it's a shame for us to see that so much money was invested and now we have to refix the school. So investing in education, I think, is one of the best solutions that we have now. Let's move forward. Let's do this.
Well, we thank them all on that, and we'll be going to the second question Cassie has for you folks. By the way, good answers.
Thank you all. I actually am going to start this time with you, Miguel. So I know you just finished, but I'm going to read the question if you don't mind starting us off. Recently, the New Lynn Coalition conducted a study that concluded that Lynn faces a job crisis. According to the study, the state's median income has risen by 10% over the past 20 years, while Lynn's median income has dipped 5%. Does Lynn face a job crisis? And if so, what steps would you take as an elected official to abate the crisis?
It has to do again with education. First of all, we know how everything is changing today to modern technology. We need to continue to present probably job training to adults who work for companies for many years, and out of the blues, those companies left town. Now those people have nothing else to do because they work at a perhaps GE plant for many years. We have to re-educate the system, have more job training programs, and look for the funds to do that. Education has to be #1 priority in the city of Lynn besides safety problems. But I will start with new training jobs.
I have a few ideas. I believe Lynn has a great base. We have a great foundation. We have the trade industry, and I think we need to strengthen our best assets of the job market and create a common marketplace for this trade industry. We need to be proud of it. It's along the Lynnway. I think we should give the Lynnway a greater identity, maybe the American Dream Highway. I hope City Hall and EDIC can work together and help in prioritizing entrepreneurships and small businesses instead of helping the larger corporations that I've seen in the past couple years on a couple projects. And another common marketplaces, I spoke about the trade industry. We can create a co-op internship program with Lynn Tech and filter the job market. And also, the other common...
So actually, Lynn is not as bad as we all think. So for this past few years, I see a lot of small businesses come to Lynn, especially on the Lynnway. So we don't talk about it, to be honest. And I see that every time we have council meeting, there's a few business owners always come to us to ask for license, which is a surplus. I see that, but we still have to recognize that we have a lot of things need to be done. Even though we have a lot of good people, a lot of smart people in this city, but we still need to find ways to increase. Job training and education is important as well, and get more business, not just small. So hopefully we get business like a market basket to come to Lynn. So we have to work with city planners to find ways to increase and promote the business in the city of Lynn so we can get more jobs. Thank you.
I was at the meeting the other night down the Lynn Museum, and some of the things we had heard and discussed about, we broke up into separate groups in each individual ward. And some of the things we heard about was the permitting process here in the city. Businesses find it a struggle if they can't get the permitting done quick enough. Commercial tax rate, Lynn has a high commercial tax rate. I'm not suggesting that we necessarily lower that tax rate, but we need to give an assurance to new businesses that we won't be raising that commercial tax rate on them, and perhaps work with newer businesses trying to come to the city, perhaps with some tax breaks. At the end of the day, the larger businesses are the ones that are going to provide the jobs for our people. As far as, getting the education to the community and the people that need it, I like the idea of community schools and utilizing our local schools to try to host classes to help people either learn the skills that they need to help them succeed and get jobs here in the community.
We have to continue to bring good-paying jobs to the city of Lynn. Somebody who has a full-time job rarely goes and robs a 7-Eleven. Usually a good-paying job solves all problems. And in order to do that in the city of Lynn, we need to be aggressively marketing ourselves. We were able to get Kettle Cuisine that has good-paying jobs here to the city of Lynn, who expanded an existing building, which is putting our tradespeople to work. We're also going to do an expansion of the Factory of the Future to a market basket. These aren't panaceas for the problems we have in the city of Lynn, but it's a start. And when you start comparing us, though, in those studies to surrounding communities, Nahant, Swampscott, there are differences in these communities. Some communities have high levels of professionals. Some communities like Lynn have high levels of blue-collar workers. And in order for those folks to get work, they have to be working in their community. They're not going to be commuting 3 or 4 hours all around the state. They need it in their local community. So that's small businesses and large employers to be the anchors so we can have nice living wages for folks to spend their money in the city of Lynn and grow it from the bottom up.
I do agree that Lynn is facing a job crisis, but there are a number of urban communities throughout the Commonwealth that are facing that same crisis. We're certainly not alone in that regard. I do think we need to continue to make the policies that encourage economic development. With more businesses in the city, we'll have more jobs. I think over the past couple of years, I think the council as well as city officials have done a good job. I think we've expedited some permitting processes. We've encouraged public infrastructure investment, as well as done some tax incremental financing. And these things have worked, and I hope they continue to be thought of in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all again for answering our questions. We actually are going to take a quick 1-minute break, so it'll give you all a chance to have a drink, and we'll be right back to all of you watching at home.
The City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself. This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food.
Hi everyone, welcome back. You're watching tonight's Town Hall style debate here at LynnCAM TV with the City's Voice, and joining me is Joe Spina and our wonderful candidates for Councilor-At-Large here in the City of Lynn. We thank you for tuning in, and again, thank you all for being here, as well as our live studio audience tonight. So we did ask 2 questions so far.
And we get 2 to go.
And we've got 2 to go.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for this one to a former student of mine. And
you did a good job.
Well, I have to, full disclosure. It's a rather long question, so bear with me. I'm sure you all agree that Lynn is a gem of a city. And it's blessed with a beautiful shoreline, a functioning harbor, you would know that, over 2,000 acres of woods, an abundant fresh water supply, which is a big deal, reservoirs, ponds, parks, recreational sites, proximity to Boston, interstate highway system available to us, and the list goes on and on and on. Yet for some reason, the perception of Lynn suffers despite the reality of all of these attributes. So Daniel, what actions would you take to correct the perception and attract people and businesses to Lynn?
Well, my answer to this is going to directly reflect upon your teaching capabilities, Mr. Speaker.
Which were overrated.
So we're in this together, you and I. You know, I think everybody at this table and most of the people who are here who are in the city of Lynn and care about the city of Lynn and are active in it, they do their best every day to improve the public relations that we have, the image that we have in and around the Commonwealth. I think if you ask folks in the city of Lynn, I mean, we always disagree. Everyone can complain about whether or not Manning Bowl should have been torn down or the new facility works well. I mean, we have these internal fights. However, I think when we're outside in other communities and people try to knock the city of Lynn, we're the first ones to defend it, and that's important. And you know what? I'm raising my family here. I've stayed here. My friends, a lot of my friends have taken off because they've gone to other communities, and I'm an example of why the city of Lynn is a great place to live. I feel as though they're jealous now. They've moved out to the burbs, and they realize how much fun we're having here, how much the community is diverse. I can go to any country's restaurant I want to. And I think those are one of the beautiful things of the city of Lynn. We just need to portray that outside of these walls. And I think a lot of these folks here, and a lot of folks there, and a lot of folks out there do that every day. And that's what's going to change the image here.
Before we go to the to you, Bob, Robert, Clay, actually.
Clay.
I'd advise you all, look into that camera. Don't look at us. You're trying to appeal to the folks out there. Okay?
Got it.
That question, Clay.
Joe,
Stay in
it's
that
on me,
camera.
and this is the camera. You know, I think it all starts with us. Anybody that's from Lynn, anybody that's living in Lynn. As I mentioned before, I do some bartending in Beverly. Every day I show up for work. I am a representative of Lynn, and you know, I've heard the comments, but the number one thing I can do is start being a positive reflection of the city for myself. And I like to use the expression holding our friends' hands and introducing them to Lynn Shore Drive, introducing them to a walk in Lynn Woods, introducing them to Fraser Field, taking them to a Navigators game. I think it's up to each of us to start stepping up, supporting our local businesses. Voyage's Tuxedo, another great gem in the city. Instead of going to the mall or going outside the city, grab people, say, look, you don't got to go to the mall. You can come to Lynn. Let me show you. Let me take you. I think it begins there with us. Recently, people have seen me wear the Girls Inc. T-shirt that says, yes, or yeah, I'm from Lynn and proud of it. Things like that. I mean, it communicates the message that it's okay here, we're doing good, and it's getting better.
I agree. We are part of this. We have to help our city by promoting our city by ourselves. We have to pass the word out that this city is not as bad as perception from outsiders. So I've been here for 15 years. I love more and more this city, and I'm not going to plan to go anywhere. And so I propose we might consider put advertise in tourism magazine. If we have enough money to do that. So we should look into that. So tell the outside world that Lynn has a lot to offer. So then people will start to take a second look about Lynn, because perception pretty bad out there, but it's not as bad as people think. And so we have to tell them that, okay, we live here, we defend our city, and this is a great city to live, and we have to work together. That's all I can say.
And these are all great suggestions. I want to incorporate a perspective on planning, because Lynn is scattered. We have our areas here and there, and we have no direction to each area. So, you know, I think we should work on our approach, our gateways approach, beautify our gateways, and then once we come into the main square, from each gateway, there should be direction to each other great resource that we have in Lynn. And we have many squares, so we're a big city. We don't have a clustered area. We have many great areas. And I think if we give each area an identity, bring back the history of that area, increase the tourism to each area. We have Wyoma Square Village. I think also going back at the main square, going back to my the previous comment of with the commerce is rebuilding the entrepreneurship shops at the city square. So we're introduced to, similar to other cities in
When I moved to Lynn in 1992 with my family and 2 kids, I was looking for a safe place to stay, a place to live that my kids can go to school safer, and I can walk the streets without a problem. Well, I found that in Lynn. And one of the things that I also enjoy in the city of Lynn is that it's a multicultural city. I mean, we can bump into people here from all over the world and eat different type of foods. Enjoy the city, the beach, the park, you name it. We have a beautiful auditorium that we have all sorts of activities during the year. And to change that, I don't think we need to. We just need to publicize it, to tell people to come and visit us, to come and see how beautiful Lynn is. So don't have it down, don't raise a question. Come and see us. I invite you to come over. Thank you.
Well, I guess I'm getting pretty good at this timing, by the way.
We
We're
got Brendan.
I'm sorry, we have one more.
See what happens next year,
Here I was
student, your
taking,
former
I
student.
was going to take some
And we're
kudos,
done.
you know?
I know, you were so excited to do that. that
Sorry,
poor Brendan.
Counselor.
That's
It's all right, Joe. I absolutely agree. There's a perception problem that has been for years, long before my generation. I do want to say that I think things are changing. And I think that because people I talk to, I work up at the State House during the day, and we have people that work from all around the Commonwealth, and they're focused on their cities and towns, just like our state delegation is here. And it's less and less about something bad that happened in Lynn, and more about something that good happened in Lynn. Look to the auditorium. I mean, not a week goes by where someone doesn't come up and say, hey, I heard about this show coming down there. Lynn Woods. You go down Lynn Woods for Wednesday night. I don't know how many people here have. People from all over the state are coming down there to enjoy the road races and mountain bike. You look towards our waterfront, which most people don't know, that behind the Walmart on the Lynnway, there is a fantastic undeveloped waterfront. When we bring folks in to see that for the first time, they're blown away. So I think the reputation is starting to be more of what can happen, what good can happen. I mean, I recognize the perceptions there, but we're an underdog city, and I think we're ready for a comeback.
Well, I think they did a pretty nice job there.
They did.
And yeah, Lynn is a gem. Cassie's going to give us our fourth and final question for you folks, and who knows where she's going to start.
I think I will go ahead and, since you went in one on that end, I'll go in one on this end, and we'll
That
just
sounds
even it
good
up.
to me.
Symmetry here. So
I mean,
I'm gonna.
okay.
All right, I'm gonna start with Katarina.
I'm ready.
But the question I have right now is, if you had a magic wand and were granted 3 wishes for the city of Lynn, what would they be?
One wish, I wish we could protect the green belt around our city's edge and just prevent future legal battles, help the ecology of the area. Secondly, I would wish to create village nodes in each neighborhood to strengthen each neighborhood, and there's increase neighborhood liaisons to the council, reorganize the infrastructure flow so we're not cutting through neighborhoods, we're creating a strong neighborhood. The third, I would love to create green policy and incentives to just create a happier and healthier living.
Okay.
My 3 wishes would be, number 1, I would like to see we have enough money to hire more police officers, up to at least 225, because we still need to protect our city. We still have something that need to be done, like break-ins, illegal drugs, abuse, other things. So we need them, and also I wish we have some money to replace our aging DPW equipment, because we need our trash to be picked up on time, and snow to be removed on time, and our tree to be cut on time, and potholes and such. And other wishes, I want to see if we can have a business specialist to help people to invest in our city by one-on-one, and show them what we have, what we don't have, so it's easy for them, and make a friendly environment for them to invest in our city. Those 3 wishes, I want to see it happen.
I'm next?
Yep.
All right. I guess I'd start with I'd love to see a little bit more federal support to help us with our waterfront development. whether that be variances to permitting, variances with our land, just money, et cetera, to help get our waterfront going. Also, some more support. That federal support is needed in our school system, especially with the abundance of refugees that have come to our city. In second, I would say I'd like to see some more support for our youth, for our jobs. Jobs for our youth, I'm sorry. Jobs for our youth here in the city. I think it's very important that a city like Lynn keeps its kids active, keeps them out of trouble, keeps them off the street. And essentially that's a good growth process for them to help them become adults and productive members of our city. Last, I would say, I'd like to see a few more community liaison police out there. I mean, these are 3 wishes, so I know money's tight, but I think having the police out there on the street creates a sense of safety for us. I think the community likes it, and we all feel better about it. And I bet you guys thought I was going to say, I wish we had a Starbucks in the city.
If I had 3 wishes, of course, my first wish would be for all the children of the city of Lynn to hold hands and sing in harmony. My second wish would be for all the money in the world to be in my pocket. And the third wish would be for omnipotent power. And of course, the money in my pocket, but more importantly, for all the children of the city of Lynn to hold hands and sing in harmony. That's a joke. Obviously, world-class education for our kids. We want to make sure that our streets are crime-free. And we want to make sure that there are jobs for all residents. But you asked if I had a magic wand, what 3 things I would ask for, and I'm just being an honest person.
That is a tough answer to follow up, Dan. Thank you. So, wasn't really an answer. I guess my first wish would be, again, to go back to the schools that this measure passes for the Marshall Middle School, and that leads on to Pickering, Tracy, Cobbett, a number of other schools throughout the city that need to be improved. And I think that's a good place to start. To try to vary up the answers a little bit here. Number 2, I'd like to see a new way for us as a city to store and remove our trash. I think that's directly connected with our rodent problem throughout the city, and just aesthetically, I think we can stand to improve greatly in that area. And I'm hopeful that with the next trash contract, we'll be able to address some of those issues. And number 3 is my really big wish, which would be the transit hub for the North Shore. And I think we already have the commuter rail coming in. We have a ferry through the efforts of the state delegation, Senator McGee, Representative Walsh, and Representative Fennell, as well as EDIC, due to come next year. Obviously, everyone talks about the Blue Line. There has to be a way to combine all 3 along with our bus service, and I think that would make us an ideal location on the North Shore. So.
And we don't want to forget Miguel.
Thank you. My first wish would be to get me elected.
That's good.
And once I'm in office, the very first thing I will do is to implement a gun buy program. Try to reduce the illegal guns that we have in the streets. That way we can actually reduce the violence. The second wish will be to work with the parks, DPW. Have those parks clean and make sure that the kids can go in there and play safe without any worries that they will step on glass or violent fight might start or something like that. And that's probably my third wish, because the first one was to get me elected.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're at that point now where we'll be going to the audience, I guess, Cassie. Is that right? And what's the format for that?
But first, we're going to take a quick break. I will go over what the format is. But
When we get back?
Yeah, I'll do it when we get back. That
okay.
way it'll be fresh in everyone's mind. So we'll be right back after this break.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great authentic Italian food. The City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself.
Hi everyone, welcome back. You're watching tonight's live coverage of the Lynn candidates for Councilor-At-Large. And
Let me ask you something before we go any further. Is someone named Sam and Mary watching tonight?
I think that they are.
And if they are, I want to tell them they did a great job. I just want to let them know that.
Thank
now,
you.
I guess we have extra time because they're so
do.
efficient,
That's what
by
I was
the
gonna
way,
say. They know their
that
stuff.
we can extend questions from the moderators.
Yes.
And you're a moderator, so it's your turn.
It's my turn to ask
Yeah,
a
I
question.
think it's not going to. It's my turn.
I think the one that.
Oh, we have
that
one here, don't we?
We'll
Do we have an
that
extra?
one.
Where is it?
I don't know where you put it.
We'll find it.
Where you put
Here it is. Together. I'll read the part and you ask the question. How's that?
Sure.
Do you think the city of Lynn is on the cutting edge of progress? And if so, why or why not? And then,
Can you explain your reasoning for your answer?
and we have Mr.
He wants to volunteer. We'll start with Clay.
Well, that's where we're gonna
Clay.
go.
Robert Clay Walsh. Alrighty.
All right, it's some of you know I'm in the restaurant industry, and I think a good milestone to judge a city is it's restaurants and nightlife, and basically social activities, places for people to go and spend time with their family, friends, colleagues, and watching the Blue Ox become the Blue Ox restaurant and Lynn become a national acclaimed restaurant, and now watching some other restaurants. Their owners decide to pick Lynn as a new location. I think this is the steps we're looking at to mark growth, so to speak. So when we start seeing people that own businesses in other communities saying, I want to put my business in Lynn, it's good for all of us. It's good for the residents of the downtown Lynn area. It's near the commuter rail. It's all part of the growth bubble, and I think that we are on the cutting edge. We've seen a lot of good things going on. If you haven't been down to the Blossom Street extension, EDIC is doing a lot of work down there. Take a trip down there. I mean, there's a lot of good things going on in the city. I know we're about to redo Wyoming Square. There's stuff happening. It's not quite loud and boom and bang, but if you're watching the paper or just talking to people in the community, you're going to see we're making progress forward, slow but steady.
Okay, thank you.
Huh?
You can go that way.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Lynn is in a progress, absolutely. I have no doubt in that because we have so many different kind of people in this city, and we bring so many different ideas, different cultures to a city, so make our city very lively. So recently you see that we have World Folk Festival, we have Dominican Festival, we have Cambodian New Year, we have all, and the Greek Festival. So Lynn is coming along, to be honest, and like I said, we have so many people who care about the city, who move to the city and live here, and they want to do good for our city. And this evidence right here, we have everybody here because we care for the city. That's why we run for the office, because we want to help, we want to improve our city. And like the LynnCAM, like the city's voice. So this is brand new, and this is great. So we bring out the message to the world and see that we have something like other city too. So it's coming along. I see.
The exciting part about Lynn is that we're always welcoming new ideas, and it comes back to the people. We have so many people that we're putting our hearts on the outside, and this is just my perception. But when I was younger, I noticed the community was more bland, more refined, and now we're not afraid to be individualistic. I think it's exciting. And seeing a lot of entrepreneurial shops pop up. And this is what Lynn is based on. We're built on the individuality of people working together in a corporation. And I think there's many people excited who I hear applying to City Hall to be on a commission or a committee, or they want to get involved somehow and they don't know how. I think we should increase We should create more commissions, create more involvement. We have so many talented people, so many intelligent people in Lynn. I love talking with everyone and listening. It's so amazing. Many people say we need to bring people into Lynn. Well, I mean, there's many people here. We just need to tap into the resources we have, reorganize, and just don't be afraid to put our hearts on the outside.
There you go.
One of the things that we see more in Lynn growing every year is the demographics of multicultural race, people from all over the world. But one thing that is not being represented in this city is we don't have enough Latinos or African Americans or people from all different countries representing the multicultural in the city of Lynn. So that's one thing that we need to change. And we also need to be business friendly. People want to come into the city and want to put their business here. We need to help them. We need to see how their business can actually work in the city of Lynn. Probably giving them some tax break, like Craig said before, maybe a type of TIF program. That way they feel attracted. And that's one of the things that actually I like when I came to Lynn. It was multicultural and friendly.
And then Brendan.
Well, I think we can always stand to improve. I don't know if we're on the cutting edge, but progress certainly doesn't happen overnight. If you look at some of the successful developments in similarly sized cities across the Commonwealth, if you look to the Hamilton Canal project in Lowell or the Hingham Shipyard down in Hingham, those took decades to come to fruition. And I think if you look at some of the areas we've targeted for development, we've made progress, but it took a long time. It took a lot of hard work from several different entities. So I think we've identified the tools, we've identified the resources. We need to continue to work at that and as well as expand on them. But I do believe we've made progress and there'll be plenty more to come with that. Thank you.
In terms of Lynn being at the cutting edge, I feel like I've seen so many different rebrandings of the city over and over throughout many years, and I'm sure my parents' parents could tell you that as well. But slogans aren't going to solve the city of Lynn's problems. What we need to talk about is long-term growth and what we've done. Now, you have to understand, as we all understand, that we have just come out of one of the worst economic crises in our nation's history, at least in the last 100 years. And during that time, urban cities like Lynn are the first to feel the impact and the last to feel the recovery. So what we've done is taken some steps to make sure that when we start feeling the effects of a recovery, that Lynn is in the right position for long-term growth. What have we done? We've made sure we've expedited permitting down the waterfront. We've cleared power lines off from the waterfront. We have a gear plant, an old GE gear plant site that has a commuter rail stop and an outlet to a major route, state road. Those things are just amazing for a developer who wants to come in here and be on waterfront. And I feel like I had the fastest time. There's no way.
The teacher has rung the bell.
Are you?
Let him
Class
finish that
dismissed.
sentence. Can you finish the sentence?
Go ahead.
Did I? No. Wow, I feel like this is crazy time. We've had crime rates are down. We're seeing the building of one school, hopefully a potential of two schools. The community fair is coming. Population growth for the first time in a long time. These are great things for the city of Lynn. This is what's going to propel us for long-term growth, not gimmicks. We're excited to continue with all those efforts.
See that? I should have the bell. And then
Can
I'll
we
feel
give it the
good.
bell
I should do the bell. Yeah, now the bell. Okay.
Bell, we can do that. And we're going to the audience now.
We are. So for the audience questions, let's just make sure that everybody understands that, again, I had said at the start of the show, each audience member that does ask a question, you need to direct it to a specific candidate. And they have 1 minute to respond. I think it's okay to say that if any of you really want to also respond to that question, that you should be able to. And then if no one really is fighting for answering it, we'll go to the next. But we would like you to start with whoever you have in mind. So I see David Gass raising his hand like a good pupil. Come on up. Come on up to the mic, please. Yep, so we can see you.
Speak clearly and loudly, David.
Thank you. He wasn't my teacher, but I went to that school. You mentioned the forum on the fact that Lynn residents' income has gone down 5%, so that people who in Lynn need an increase in income. At our forum on Monday, we asked for an increase in the minimum wage from $8 to eventually $11 an hour. How would council candidates feel about that, knowing that, for example, Market Basket moved into Lynn, we gave them permits, but 80% of Market Basket workers make $8 to $9 an hour. Barely enough to feed a family with very little. So council has an ability to leverage. If you're going to give permits to a business, what do you want in return to help the city of Lynn residents? Second of all, we raised the issue.
Hold on 1 second, David. Farm a question
Okay.
for a candidate.
Question
and let
is,
them respond.
how do you feel about raising the minimum wage? Second of all, how do you feel about linkage, which would require new businesses to put a percentage of their cost to anybody who will answer it?
That's it.
Cahill
Anybody want
or
to try?
Miguel?
Daniel?
I'll start off, and since we have a minute, I'll be very brief. I absolutely support raising of the minimum wage. I think that for communities like Lynn, it's critical. A lot of our residents live on that wage. We're not talking about Wellesley or Lynnfield, where they do not have a minimum wage problem because they're on salary. We're talking about good jobs for the citizens of Lynn. They need it. More money in their pocket is more money they're going to spend in our community. That means more growth with our small businesses, which will have more people employed by small businesses, and they'll be able to raise their families here in Lynn. I fully support it. Linkage, I'd like to have a discussion more about it. I have a minute.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Go on, Miguel. And followed by you, Clay.
Sure.
Miguel, go ahead, and then Clay.
I think that the way these big supermarkets are working their profits is that they're hiring younger kids and elderly retired people and leaving the middle-aged people on their own. So we need to actually provide more training to make sure that these people also can work not just bagging the food, but inside as managers and also running the store. And that creates jobs. So we have to move forward with the training for adults, especially in technology.
Clay, you're next on that one.
To answer David's question, at this time, I would like to think I'd support the raising the minimum wage and the linkage. Minimum wage, I just read an article the other day about McDonald's and the Big Mac. And in order for McDonald's to double their minimum salaried employees or hourly employees, it would mean the Big Mac would have to go up like 63 cents or something like that. This is something absolutely our bigger corporations can afford to do. And then that helps our community. As far as the linkage, I'm not super informed on it, but in attending the job summit at the Lynn Library the other night, 2 nights ago, the community director, community development director, I believe from Boston, had come to this event and explained to us the benefits of linkage and how it's helping in Boston. And anybody that knows me, I like to think that Lynn should become a microcosm of Boston, and we should be looking from some of the leadership example Boston's taking and try to follow suit here in Lynn, because I do think we're a microcosm of a city like Boston.
Next question from the audience, I guess, huh?
Sure, yeah.
Anybody?
Good evening. First, I want to congratulate all of the candidates here and appreciate your time. Dan, as you said, you do put a lot of time out, all of you, from your families to be here. My question goes to really two people, Katerina and Daniel, in regards to the building of the new school. Much agree with both of you that education is highly needed, especially if you want to drive families back into Lynn, and especially keep them here. Two concerns, though, that I see. One, Katerina raises as the maintenance issue, but it's unclear to me as to what kind of maintenance issues or building issues you may have. And over to Dan, having taught in the Lynn school systems, I know that many of the schools struggle towards the end of the year of even providing their students with supplies, paper to copy. If we have issues like that are existing today, how do you foresee that being handled when you're adding costs to building a school, and then we have maintenance costs in addition to that, when really we are struggling to provide our students with the basic resources for education today?
Who should?
Anybody?
You want to do the first part that she asked?
I'll begin. That's a very excellent question. So, something
Sorry, we just
funny.
have a little technical thing. I don't know what it is from. Is somebody skipping? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
So, should I just continue?
I will just wait 1 second because I want you to have quiet.
Okay. I'd like to answer, I know you've separated the question, but if I could answer a little bit of both of them. I believe, how can we continue creating new when we cannot maintain the old? And I've worked on several buildings, schools and other communities in Brookline, and rehabbing schools, and they're the most beautiful, gorgeous buildings built on solid ground. I think what we really need to do is simply reorganize. We need to reorganize the program, and we need to reorganize how we're budgeting putting people to work in the system. Balancing the budget, it would, I think, as said in other cases, we need to increase DPW, and we need to increase civil service and help bring people to the table to maintain our public buildings. And then I believe the program could improve by surveying the parents what the curriculum needs are. I think that simply said.
I'll make sure he doesn't ring the bell early. Go ahead.
Thank you. So what we're talking about is funding streams. We'll be talking about maintenance of our existing buildings. Some of our buildings, as if you looked at it recently, the item, we have buildings dating back to the 1800s, and that's unheard of for a lot of communities in Massachusetts. There are some communities that are on the list for reimbursement for building a new school that is 40 years old because they feel that in their community a 40-year-old school is too old. For us, we literally don't have anyone alive who was around when our schools were built. And that is an issue of, if you talk about maintenance, it's tough to keep a building that's over 100 years old up to the levels that we are expected to today with a lot of the requirements from the state and federal programs in education about how we're teaching our students, about what kind of facilities we have for our students. We're talking about a lot of innovation. It's hard to put wires into a school for computers when the walls are 18-inch brick. So there are a lot of maintenance issues that we are addressing. That money, though, comes out of our city budget when we're talking about funding. And also when you talk about a new school, now you're talking about MSBA money. That's from state reimbursement money and, of course, a portion of our tax proceeds. So in building a new school, what we're saying is that we're making a commitment to the future of the city, that the current facilities that they have is woefully unsatisfactory for the students now and the students in the future. And the supplies come from Chapter 70 funding. We do have a supply issue. We struggle every year. Unfortunately, those are the items that tend to get cut.
Okay.
Yeah, just to build off Dan's point a little bit, I do think we actually stand to save money when we are maintaining newer facilities. I mean, it's just like with our roads. If you let a road crumble to dust, it's going to be a lot more difficult to maintain it. But I think the investment there will pay off not only in the long term of our education for our students, but also with the city costs and the budget.
Miguel, you're going to say something.
Yes, with the school supply especially, I think that we should come out with new ideas such as how about paper recycling and use the money that we can from the recycling to buy more practically things for the classrooms, paper and whatever the teachers need. I personally seen teachers take out money every time they get paid and they put it aside so they can buy supplies for the kids, because in a way that, especially in Lynn, where we have so many poor people unable to buy books and the required things for the child to go to school, besides food and transportation, we need to put in place other things. And we need to stop probably depending 100% on Chapter 7.
Clay.
Just in recently, probably in the last month or so, I reached out to the city of Beverly because they actually have a really brand new high school. I think it's in the past 2 or 3 years old. And one of the things that came up in our conversation was about the energy management systems that they have. It's all digitized now. As Dan was saying, a lot of our schools are outdated in their energy systems, whether it be heating, air conditioning, etc. All of these systems are so outdated, it's not efficient anymore. It's costing the taxpayer a lot of money. By getting behind a new building, we're going to save money on the back end. To go back to Effie's point about, teachers bringing pencils to school for their own kids is ridiculous. And it's something that, as a representative, as a Councilor-At-Large, we should be fighting and calling out to our federal leadership and state leadership to do something about this.
Hon, you want to speak?
Yeah, you're the only one.
Yes.
I believe that yes, a new school is great, but also I want to see the green energy being placed in those buildings as well. I want to propose a committee who look into that very deeply, see if we can focus on green energy on city-owned buildings, and that will be save money. And also, we cannot afford to keep fixing our crumble school, and I agree with Dan on that. And because all our schools are very bad shape right now, the kids are bring their blankets to classroom. That's very unbelievable in this country. You know, we only see in third world country, but we don't want to see it here. So we have to we have to work with the school committees and superintendent and elected officials, the state and local, even to federal, to get money to fund this.
You wanted to add?
Yeah, just one quick thing to add. I do think in terms of our Chapter 70, just to be clear with folks out there, this is the money that comes from the state to fund our schools and the schools' operational budgets. The City of Lynn does very, very well. And I think that's a result of the hard work of the delegation. That's not just a plug for them again, but we do very well if you look at the monies that come to the city.
Okay.
Follow up?
We have time. Just to follow up, just Clay's point, we also did an energy audit for the schools and the municipal buildings, so we are going to be saving money on some of those things. You have to understand, though, a lot of the things we do in the City of Lynn that cost a ton of money, you never see. New boilers that we will actually replace old boilers for new boilers are energy efficient. They'll pay for themselves over the course of their lifetime. Unfortunately, you're never going to see that. A roof on top of tech is going to be $1.3 million. And you're never going to see that roof. But those are the type of investments we're making into these old buildings, and that's why we're really having a hard time doing some maintenance on the outside with brickwork and stuff.
We got one more thing. I see Katerina.
Just a quick follow-up. I just want to mention there are ways to reorganize, or old buildings are made in passive design where they were energy efficient based on that designing off the natural resources, how the sun infiltrates the building and based on landscaping. And I think there's a perfect example at the Ford School where they had the skylights. There was a skylight on the roof, and then the skylight on there's a glass floor through the hallway, which brought light through the building and cut cost of daylighting. But then with the new addition, they covered the skylighting at the roof, and then it just killed the whole original concept of the original design. I think if we reorganize and just look at our buildings and say, what can we do that's not cost effective?
I want to follow up with Katerina on that. Yes, with our new school coming up, Marshall School, we should try with green energy and see. So I will talk to my colleague and see if we can form a committee to see if we can look into that. And I don't know how much it will cost, but let's try that because that's the building owned by the city. Let's try one first, see if we can save up money in the long run, because I heard that people who have skylights, so in the long run they save up money. So we'll
on that note, the hour's gone. Would you believe it?
Yeah, and I don't want to keep anyone else from answering, but if we don't go to break, they may give me the hook. So we're going to go to,
and we'll be right back.
Go to break. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your great answers.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great authentic Italian food. The City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself.
And we're back. Joe Sprina with Cassie Vitale, and a host of candidates for Councilor-At-Large, all of whom have been very effective tonight, frankly.
They have been, and we have a great audience here. Our last question, you got everybody going. They all went twice, I think, just about. So you did a good job with your question. That's good.
Basically, we're going to continue because we're looking for our next one to come up to that mic, ask a question to the candidates. Come on, get up here, Mr. Slazek, right?
Suslike.
I got it right.
Suslike.
I think. Suslike, yeah. I play golf with his father, beats me.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jack Suswak, and my question, I'm just going to let it go to whoever wants to take it, but I feel like one of the best ways to get development to the city is improving the access. I know Councilor Crichton talked about a transit hub with the ferry and the commuter rail and the Blue Line, hopefully, which I strongly believe, but what do you feel that you can do in the council? What would you like to see to help improve the access to get more businesses, more people to come to Lynn, because we need better access in and out of Lynn and into Boston and other places. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Great question.
Who wants
Katrina,
it
how
first?
about you? She's sitting there looking.
Smiling at you. She's
Yeah.
so adorable.
Can't resist.
Well, I have one idea. I'm not sure if your question was directed to access in terms of traffic load, or just in terms of beautification views, magnetizing access into the city. I believe. Well, here's one concept. Originally, the Lynnway is a parkway designed to connect Revere Beach and Lynn Shore Drive, and it's taken over as a highway. And I think those responsible as taking it over as a highway should reinvest in, so we can expand the parkway. And the idea here is to create. Bring tourism into Lynn through the Lynnway, through a beautification parkway with pavilions, kiosks, mixed in with the businesses, sort of like we'll have tourism and trade and industry, similar to South Boston Bays, and along the way it's a green trail from Revere Beach to Lynn Shore Drive, and shop here and visit our beaches.
I'd like to. I think that in order to bring more businesses to the city of Lynn, we need also parking space. And right now, we have on West Lynn, all this land over there being waste. Nothing is being produced over there because we can't build on it. However, we can always start that place and make it a parking space. Have maybe a shuttle bus going around the city, picking up passengers or bringing them to West Lynn, and use that. That will actually make it more positive, I think, for people to come to Lynn. Parking is a headache right now in Lynn.
To bring more business to Lynn, there's a lot of things we can do, starting from education to public safety. So if we have, if city is safe, and people would like to come here and to invest in our city. So if we have good schools, then people want to come here to invest here and want to live here because they want to put their kids in a good school here. And also we have to promote our city by beautify our city, like we borrow money from the bond for $4 million. That's just a good start to beautify our city. So the first thing people see, if we have a beautiful city and look safe, look clean, people like to come and take a look at it. And then if they like it, they will stay and they will invest here.
Jack, was your question about infrastructure improvements? Was that?
Yeah, I was more talking about infrastructure, roads, transportation, stuff like that.
We're redoing the Wyoming Square. I mean, to further projects like that, to continue changing that, not just in Ward 1, but in other wards of the city that have major intersections and major traffic areas to keep trying to improve our cities is clearly a help to businesses that are considering moving here. I mentioned the preemption signals to assist with emergency vehicles here in the city. To further the idea, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but I find getting through downtown Lynn just a trick. I find it awful difficult, and if I've been a resident of the city for a long, long time, I can't imagine how someone from outside the city feels when they're trying to get through downtown Lynn. So maybe we should look at redoing the downtown Lynn pattern. I mean, where we do have more restaurants and more businesses coming there, and that seems to be the next hub for the city of Lynn, especially with the commuter rail. We should try to improve the traffic pattern there. That's my 5 cents.
Go down the line.
Yes.
Jack, first of all, thank you for the question, and thank you for your service on the Disability Commission as well. And you were talking about access. We want to make sure that every resident in the city of Lynn has access to in and out of the city, and also within the city, and especially those folks who are disabled. So we have to make sure that our intersections are wheelchair accessible, and also that our sidewalks are free of defects, and that's a big problem throughout the city. But we're talking about getting through the city. Everyone's frustrated, not just getting through the downtown. You can't get anywhere in the city. It's absolutely frustrating. We have people cutting through neighborhoods. What we have to do is, when we redesign these roadways, we talk about Broadway, we talk about Wyoma, Broad Street, some of these redevelopments that we've seen, we have to make sure that we link them up with technology to make sure that the lights are working properly, so we can have a better flow of traffic. I got to tell you, development through close to public transportation is critical. My favorite day is the day I walk out of my house, walk to the end of my street, take a bus all the way to Boston, all the way back. I don't drive my car at all. It makes my life a lot easier. We should promote that in the city of Lynn. Folks who are driving around from the waterfront to the McDonald's, sometimes, find the bus route, jump on a bus. It's a great ride. So we have to work on those things, but access is critical. It drives us crazy, but it also prohibits a lot of growth, and that's a problem.
I think generally the role of a city councilor is pretty limited in terms of expanding our access. Councilor Cahill was right to bring up certainly the public transit issue, and Clay had mentioned the downtown traffic patterns being very confusing. Recently, the council had asked EDIC as well as community development to work on a traffic master plan to essentially decide which streets should be one way, where there should be traffic lights. I also agree with Councilor Cahill in terms of the traffic signaling. Throughout the city, we have an aged infrastructure in that regard, and that's something we can affect. I think overall, we're just as powerful as a lot of the citizens are, in that we need to recognize that transportation and access investment is necessary for our growth as a city. And I think recently the Commonwealth did a very good job of addressing that. I think year after year we need to continue to make that case, and I think being active as a constituency, whether you're a resident, a businessman, or a councilor, we all need to be on the same page that with improved access, we have improved economic activity. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to thank you again for answering another great question. All of you have been giving great questions. To the people at home, I wanted to remind you can call in with questions, and for those of you who have called in, I just want to let you know we appreciate your patience. If someone just asked a question, it's something that we have to let that be answered before we can take your call. So please keep that in mind and pay attention to whether or not there was already a question asked, and then we'll go to you. So right now, we do have somebody on the line, and we want to go ahead and take the call. I think this is, I believe, John. So we appreciate your patience, and John has a question. Let him know who it's for, please, John.
Yes, hi. Really, it's for everybody. My question is, what do the candidates bring? What do the candidates bring to the table in terms of their professional backgrounds to help the city through its trying times right now with business and housing and things of that nature? And then what personally do they have? What drives them personally to do this, and what compels them to want to see the city grow in a better light? That's my question.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Does anyone in particular want to start with that, talking about your professional background and your personal reasons for wanting to run? Clay, do you want?
I'll take that. I appreciate the question, John. Thank you for that question. I'm guessing everybody here has a really good answer for that. As far as my answer goes, growing up with the family business, as I mentioned before, Walsh's Oil, John's Oil. Before Aquasino, it was Walsh's Deep Sea Fishing, as some folks may remember. Growing up on the waterfront in the oil business, it put me in touch with basically what's going on as far as business and stuff that's happening with our residents here in the city. Personally, I don't want to say personally, but more on the work level, delivering heating oil to residents throughout the city of Lynn in every ward gave me an opportunity to meet a lot of people out there and find out the struggles they're facing and the issues they have in their neighborhoods. On a personal level, I think being a bartender is a great asset. dealing with a lot of different people and a lot of different from a lot of different places and a lot of different attitudes, and most positive. But I think it's important to be able to talk to people and be sociable, and most importantly, especially as the bartender and as your next Councilor at Large, be able to listen to people.
I grew up poor, but after college, I had the chance to go back to help a war-torn country, small country in Southeast Asia, and to help work with business communities, with the government, with the tourism, Department of Tourism. So I was able to work with people, get people to invest in a war-torn country. So I have some experience on that. So that's why I can relate to that from my experience overseas to put in Lynn here to promote our business here as well. So I believe that, like I said again, we should promote our city by at least put our city in the world book, like tourism book. So because this is not a small city, and it's a lot of potential in this city. And right now I'm working for the Department of Revenue as a child support enforcement specialist. So every day I okay,
you can finish that sentence, go ahead.
Every day, not just to collect money for children, also bring parents to responsible for their children's lives. So that's what my intention, to bring the city together, to work together as a community.
But when I ring the bell, that just means sum it up. Doesn't mean.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Now you tell me.
Before we go on,
Well, when it's you, Kayla.
that's pretty much it, right? I guess before we go any questions, we better give them the phone number here, you know?
Yes, let me reiterate that it's 781-596-9641. And again, a lot of these questions are being answered by everyone because they're good questions. So if you do call in, please be patient and bear with us. We're glad that you're calling. All of us are glad that you're calling, but we need to give them a chance to answer first. So
Absolutely. Wait 1 second. Well,
I already heard it
go
ringing,
back to
though, I
them yet,
get-
because our audience, we have a caller on the line, and then we maybe go back to the audience. So let that caller on the line identify themselves and ask the question. Does it say caller on the line, or am I reading the screen wrong?
No, it does, but is it possible that
Do we-
the caller can hold on the line so that they can say what they do
Allow
for
us
work?
to-
I just want to know what they do for work for
Yeah.
everybody that's...
I like to actually say that I went back to school. I graduated from Cambridge College in psychology. I enjoyed working with the community. I did 5 years working with homeless families, helping them get back together to a regular life that they can follow, working group homes with adolescents, a very troubled group. I worked with them for at least 7 years, trying to get them back into the life or a good, being accepted back into society, going back to school. I right now work for the Department of Child Support Enforcement. As Hongnet said it's coincident that we both work for the same system. He kind of holds them and I hit him, so. Thank you.
That is a great question. Thank you, John. So I love Lynn. I love Lynn from the woods to the ocean and in between, from East Lynn to West Lynn. I was born here. There's no simple way to say it. I just love my city. And growing up, I loved the architecture in Lynn, and that created my career, my background to study architecture at Wentworth. And I just want to give back what I love most about Lynn, and I want to continue the rhythm of what I love about it.
Okay. Do you guys want to go ahead?
I'll go first. Thank you. John, great question. So by career, I'm an attorney, which usually people really dislike, but I've learned to live with that. I tell my mother that I do advocacy work. So as an attorney, I'm not smarter than anybody else, I can tell you that. I've been trained to learn and understand things a little bit different. I can understand ordinances pretty well. I match those up with Mass General laws a lot. I see different dynamics when they come before the council. I think that's an asset. I was a former prosecutor, so I understand a lot of the difficulties that folks in urban areas are going through, and it's not an easy thing to be able to deal with folks' real problems. And I enjoyed my time as a prosecutor. Now as an attorney in Boston, I have a lot of corporate clients, and I actually learn a lot from how they interface with government and how we can improve ways. And currently I'm Personally, I'm a byproduct of a family that grew up on a small business, and that's really been shaping my viewpoints on how we improve the city.
Brendan.
I've benefited so much from the city of Lynn throughout my life, whether it be through going through public schools, K through 12, the athletic programs, after-school programs, Lynn's diversity. Lynn has given me so much, and I was fortunate enough to go to college. I attended Colby College, where I got a degree in government. Later attended Suffolk University, where I received a master's in public administration. But I think most of my learning was done on the job, and I was really fortunate enough to get a role with State Senator Tom McGee's office. I've been there for 8 years now. He's taught me a lot in terms of constituent services on the legislative level, as well as just dealing with all branches of government, all types of people to get things done. So I think I bring a strong background in public service. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to go very quickly to patient Peter, who is waiting on the line to ask his question. So, Peter, thank you for calling and waiting. And who's your question for, and what is your question, please?
All right. I just think a very big educational issue is the new Thurgood Marshall. I'm just curious, why would anybody that's a school official or a city official vote for a school that has very small space, that is going to be built up against the MBTA commuter trail line, and has a ridiculous play field that is going to be built on the roof of the cafeteria and of the gym? I just want to get to the various thoughts. Thank you very much.
Who wants to
Okay,
try
thank
that
you,
one?
Peter. You want? So he's talking about the actual plan for the new Marshall, right?
Yeah,
So
Peter, I appreciate the call. It's not Lynn's a very dense area, so there's not a lot of open space for us. And truthfully, the state has a lot of say on where we put these schools. In order to have torn down the current site of the Thurgood Marshall, we would have taken a number of homes, which would have displaced people and also increased the costs exponentially. Because then we can assess those properties, and they can say, well, we own $1 million, but they can go to court, and then all of a sudden we owe $5 million. And we're displacing a lot of people. Unfortunately, in Lynn, because it's just a lack of space, this seemed to be the lesser of all evils. You get a property you get a property that's underdeveloped and won't be developed, and it'll be a school now. And I got to tell you, the train tracks, it was a problem for me. Apparently, the state officials thought that was a fine idea. I mean, we've run this by a number of folks. So those final view, the schematics, I mean, they may look like that, they may not look like that. We've been through a lot of buildings of different natures, and they don't always come out the way they come out. But there's still room to talk about how that structure is going to be built. I think it's just a placeholder right now to show folks what it could look like. But it's either that or we just don't build a school, which I don't think is an option in the city of Lynn.
Anyone?
So, thank you, Peter, for the question. Yes, on Brookline's app, it's not the first, that's not the only place that we chose. So we look at different places, but that seems to be the right one that we have to look into. And yeah, we have talked a lot about this. We have looked over and over again. We have to work with independent contractor. We have school official and city official, of course, and we come up with a plan. So this is the right place. And like Dan said, if we stick the way we are this right now, probably we have to take over a lot of homes that you don't want to do that, and people are not too happy about it. And we still have to take some homes we're going to plan to build right now, but it's the right place to be. So and that's not the right place, that's a better place to be. So.
But we've got a lot of people backed up on the phones, and to quote a very good talk host, I'll let you finish, we got to make it pithy. Quick and short, and so
well,
we
I
can
think, and
finish up on it. So.
Okay, so yeah, it's not the perfect place to put a new school, but it's the better one of all the places that we looked at.
Can I go quick?
Clay, we got to move on, seriously. Get people backed up here.
Okay, so we're going to go to another call. Because callers aren't asking for specific candidates, we'll let you guys have a couple people answer, and then, so if you're really passionate and want to answer, jump right in. So next up is Gardy on the phone. Thanks for being patient, Gardy.
Thank you, Kathy. My question is, during the last Councilor-At-Large debate, all of the candidates say there's a major issue in the city of Lynn, which is a lack of communication between the two branches of our local government. I was wondering if you guys have a plan to address that issue. That's the first part of the question. The second part is, because we keep repeating the same thing over and over again, so therefore we cannot have a different result. I'm asking every one of you to tell us, how do you guys feel about term limits for elected officials in the city of Lynn? Thank you.
Who's most ready to answer that, please? For Gardy. Go ahead, Karen.
I believe we should have term limits and just keep the pool fresh. We need fresh ideas every maybe 2-3 terms. As long as it takes to bring in the ideas and let the goals develop. And the other question regarding communication, I think there's something missing. We're missing more of it. We're missing liaisons, cultural liaisons. We're missing neighborhood liaisons to the council. And then that will give actually the government more strength in understanding what the community needs. It's not about the council and the mayor's office. It's about we're all working together for the people, and we need to bring the government back to the people. And I think that's what needs to be done. We need to create more involvement from the neighborhoods.
Yes, sir.
For lacking of communication, I have to admit that we do sometimes, but not all the time. For example, like the last voting that we took on the 9th of this month, so I vote for CFO. So because of lack of communication, so that's why I was kind of left in the dark. So I didn't have the chance to talk to anyone. I didn't know enough about the candidate that we're supposed to vote on. So and then I vote on based on what I know, what I don't know. So I didn't know enough, have enough information. So consider the lack of communications from my part, from the others leaders' part. So that's why. So I vote this way. But I still think that I did the right thing. Because based on so limited information I had. And for term limit, I'm not opposed to term limit, but it depends. So we have to put into public to see if the public are willing to go to term limit. So I have no problem with that.
We got Leslie on the line, so let's get to Leslie and then Sonia. Wow. Leslie, how are you?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for waiting, Leslie. What's your question?
Thank you. A lot of our wetlands in Lynn are severely degraded. They're choked with invasive species and algae bloom, and especially Buchanan Bridge Pond. I wonder if any of the candidates have any idea if what could be done to clean these bodies of water. The algae and the weed blooms are visible from the surface at Buchanan Bridge Pond at this point.
I'm gonna let Brendan, and then you, Miguel. Okay, Brendan, go ahead.
Just real quickly, I know the state is taking a look at our ponds and our algae issues, and for a number of years we were able to get funds to take care of some of those nuisance algae. I don't know necessarily that the city has the room to take care of those algae. When we have a funding source we can identify through different grants and programs with the state. It's definitely something worth taking a look at. I think they're one of our best natural resources we have in the city, and we do need to take care of them to promote recreation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for keeping it quick, too. Go ahead.
I think that we should bring a environmental office to do a study on why this continues to happen every year, and get some federal money to see how we can actually clean up, because there is federal money for us to work on this.
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to Sonia now on the line, and then I do want people at home to be aware that I'm going to offer the live audience for another question as well. So Sonia's next, and anyone else calling in, you'll need to wait, please. Thanks, Sonia.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. My question is, I've been hearing a lot about education and what you're doing for the youth. A lot of the youth is going off to college, is graduating, and you have many graduates after they finish college coming back to the city of Lynn. What is the city of Lynn offering to colleges, recent college graduates like myself, when it comes to who are looking to start a career, looking to start a family? What are you offering to them so they can stay in the city and not move to surrounding cities? So we got to look at crime, we got to look at jobs, we got to look at the area. What are you offering to them so these people who are going to start families and contribute to the city stay here?
Thank you, Sonia. I saw Katerina first, and then we'll go to you, Dan.
Okay.
30 seconds, remember, that's it.
I believe the city of Lynn owns a lot of property, and we do have a fund to create a rent-to-buy program. We need to understand that students have student loans. It's very difficult to be a first-time buyer. So I think helping someone buy a house in Lynn will help them bring start their families here, and we create the cycle.
Awesome.
Danny?
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia, for the question. And I'm in the same position as you are. And just one small example is that we've made significant investments in our parks. It's so tough in the city to bring your toddler to a park because there are only about 3 or 4 that you feel as though have the appropriate structure. So we've made a significant investment into improving our parks, which hopefully will keep some of our young parents in the neighborhoods.
Okay.
Anybody else? Calls? No, nobody on the line. Let's get to the audience.
And I saw you first. Sorry. We'll get back.
That's a question last
So this question is for Dan. If you know, or if anyone else knows, kind of piggybacking on the previous question, what is not so much the housing market, but the apartment stock in Lynn? You mentioned earlier about keeping professionals in Lynn. I don't see that happening with the current apartment stock.
Great question, Perry, and thank you for asking for it. I think one of the smartest things the city has ever done was with the downtown, make sure that we can do mixed developments with small condos and commercial spaces on the bottom close to transportation. Unfortunately, we've hit our max. It's tough to even get one of those apartments. We need to continue to build off that. And I think by doing appropriate transit-oriented cluster development, getting our buildings that are now currently offline, online, great example, the Prime building, beautiful building right on the corner of Washington and Union. Recently, we've been able, Councilor Crichton and I have been able to help that business owner obtain some MBTA land through a public bid. He's going to be able to make that now wheelchair and handicap accessible, and the possibilities are endless. And those are some of the types of growth that we're trying to do. And I agree, we got to make sure that our young folks want to come here, live here, and contribute here because you have expendable money. We love that.
We got a call.
On the line is Paul.
Yeah, Paul, and it's for
Hi, Joe.
Creighton. Hi, Paul.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for showing this to everybody in Lynn tonight, and welcome all the candidates. Thank you for coming and taking the time for the interest of the city of Lynn. My question for Dan Cahill and Brendan Creighton is, moving forward, what do you think in the next 2 years is going to be the biggest challenge for the city of Lynn? Thank you.
I'll defer to Councilor.
Yeah.
That's a good question. All right.
Well, thank you, Paul, for that question. Very good question. I think moving forward, it's a lot what we've talked about tonight. Kind of getting over that hump. I think we've really established a number of good policies in the city, but there's ways to build off of that. I think looking towards other communities is always helpful. Visiting other communities, talking with other elected officials to see what's worked in their community and how can we apply it here in Lynn. I do think some developments down on the waterfront, again, will really help push that forward, but it's not going to happen overnight. We need to make the waterfront as business-friendly, development-friendly as possible, as well as the downtown. And that is a challenge. It's a challenge with limited money in terms of the city's ability to invest in infrastructure and just limited dough at the federal and state levels. Thank you.
Danny?
Paul, thanks for the question. I'm going to, aside from what Councilor Crichton will tell you, I'll tell you some of the things that I'm sure, and you'll agree, we hear the most of. And they're not the big ticket items. We're talking about trees, roads, and rats. Those things drive people and myself absolutely crazy. It is nearly impossible to get a tree limb or a tree taken down in this city, and it's actually because we need more DPW workers. I mean, we're tremendously understaffed. I think we have 40 full-time DPW workers. We need many more to address your issues. And as far as roads concerned, we're trying to spend as much money as we possibly can on road improvements, but we need to continue that. There's a lot of potholes out there, and that drives residents nuts. But the rats, horrible. A rodent reduction and eradication is critical.
We have a call for Matt, from Matt for Mr. Walsh. Yeah.
Okay, hi, Matt.
Hi, how you doing? First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone on the panel there, all the Councilor-At-Large is running, and I know it's sometimes a thankless responsibility, so thank you for your time. I know it's a very difficult task at hand. My question is, I'm currently living in West Lynn, and when I was growing up, it was a very difficult area to live in. It has become much better. And my question is, what can we do to make the city safer or feel safer without spending a lot of money? There's still a lot of areas that need a much improvement. I'm wondering, what can the councilors at large offer a little bit of safety for the city?
Matt, thanks for the call. You know, public safety, I think, obviously always the number one issue here in the city. People want to feel safe. People looking to move to the city want to feel safe. Our own residents want to feel safe. I personally would love to see, as I said earlier, if I had the magic wand, more community liaison police on our streets. But if money is an issue, recently I've noticed driving through Ward 1 up there near York Road, there's a police officer. I don't know who this police officer is, but very frequently he parks his police cruiser on a main drag street, right off of a main drag street. And just to have the presence of a police car there, it kind of causes an alarm to either slow down, to reduce traffic. Even though it's an unmanned car, perhaps we could build off of something like that and place some empty cruisers throughout the city to give the sense of, to reduce the crime.
Well, we're going to have to take a break now, don't we?
We do, but I saw Hong wave his hand. Can he quickly answer it? 30 seconds, Hong.
Okay.
Woo.
Just, okay, to save money, so just let everybody in our community to get together and watch after each other, so we don't spend money on that. So I have been doing that. I have been working with crime watch groups in my area, and we should be able to do that in everywhere in the whole city. That will eliminate from spending money on it.
Crime watch. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we would love more phone calls, 781-596-9641, and we have some audience members, at least one that I need to get to, so we'll be right back.
The City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself. This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food.
Hi everyone, we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in and for your phone calls tonight. And again, thank you to our live audience and of course our candidates and Joe.
Well, you know, I have to make a comment if you don't mind before we go to the audience. I am really impressed with the quality of the phone calls we're getting and frankly, the quality of the questions from the audience. Now, the quality of our questions are questionable. So
I blame you for that though, that's not my fault.
That's true, blame me because I wrote them. Any case, let's get up here.
We have this nice lady right here, come on up. Please, and there you go. She's a pro. Look, she already adjusted.
Hello, my name is Ellen Morgan, and I've lived in Lynn my whole life. I've raised 9 kids in this city, and I'm very disappointed in it. And it was so beautiful, and so many people down here in downtown at night, on Friday, Saturday night, you couldn't walk on the streets. There were so many people. We had 5 movie theaters. We had businesses everywhere. We had all kinds of shopping stores. We had factories everywhere. What happened to Lynn? I have no idea. But anyways, I would like to know if any of you have any idea of how to bring a factory back here, or not every school and diplomas and all that is good. I don't have one myself. I chose to raise kids. And I worked at North American Phillips, and when that closed, that was a big loss for Lynn. And I didn't see Lynn trying to do anything to stop it. But I just wondered what you would do to get more business. I was making $12.65 when I worked there in 1990. I had lost that job, went to work for White Hand for $5.75 an hour.
Wow.
So
Anybody want to take on that challenge?
we need factory jobs for people who cannot get an education.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you.
absolutely, and I appreciate the question, Ella. And I think over time, what you see with a lot of gateway cities like Lynn, we had a manufacturing base, and a lot of that has gone away. And it's how do we adjust with the times? I think if you look to a lot of the green energy jobs that are coming around now, these are the types of jobs that used to be assembly line on the shoe factory or at Phillips. I do think there's a way to bring that back to the city. I think we need to be aggressive in keeping an eye on when companies are looking to come to the state. We need to pursue them. We need to aggressively work with the delegation at the state level and federal level. But again, making business-friendly policies. But I understand your frustration, and we hear it all the time. We do need to have a very diverse job sector in the city. Thank you.
Miguel.
Ellen, thank you for the question. I think that we need to, the city of Lynn is probably, in a way, kind of afraid to invest in the city. We continue to go around and around with the same ideas and talking every day, and every time that we meet, we do say the same thing. We need to act, and we need to act now. How can we bring more businesses to the city, factories? There's plenty of factories up there that would like to come to Lynn, and believe me, I do walk the city and I talk to people, and they said, why do I have to take a train all the way to Boston to go to work? Why can't we do it in Lynn? It is possible. We just need to do the homework.
I believe we need to create a collective forum where people can come together and meet each other, share their ideas, because the foundation of before the factories was the cottage industry, where one house made the glue for the shoes, the other made the soles, and then together we made a collaborative effort. There's a group in Lynn trying to put together a food co-op. There's another man trying to put together a machine factory, and I think we should actually invest in the people's ideas and create perhaps a business and innovation commission or some kind of committee to help bring these people's ideas together.
I see that a lot of people try to work very hard to bring business to Lynn, and you can't deny that City Hall people work really hard on this. And we have to, again, I have to say, we have to promote our city to show the world that we have a lot of capable people in this city who are willing to work hard, who are willing to take full responsibility, and they're smart, okay, so smart people. So, and I don't know why all factory move out of Lynn. I have no idea, to be honest. I have no answer to that, but what I can say, we have to make sure we have a friendly policy for them to come back, so we can tell them, we can show them so what we can do for them to help them to bring business to Lynn. That's what we can do right now. But besides that, it's going to be very, very challenging for us to do what but we do what we can do.
We're going to wrap this up, are we?
They wanted to, have Hong wrap it up, and I think, do we have another caller right now? We don't. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is go to another audience question, and I know you didn't all answer, but like we said, we want to get a chance to get as many as possible. So is there someone else waiting in the audience that wanted to ask a question? David again? I don't see anyone else, so come on up, David.
Yes, critical to our city is the neighborhoods. And I know HongNet has organized a West Lynn Association, which is very good, maybe the first person in government to do that, go outside of government. So I'd like to know, because if you're on the street and there's a problem, if you can prevent it by having a street organization, then you don't need to call the police as often because you can solve your own problems. This is what Katarina's talking about. So could somebody comment on neighborhood? How could the council support neighborhood organization?
You're jumping for it, and Brendan's, but why don't we first do Katarina, and we'll see.
Okay, well, one of my master planning ideas is to actually identify each neighborhood, give it an identity, reorganize the infrastructure, and part of that creates a village node where there's a heightened awareness. We're creating a house. Once you're in the house, you're aware who's in it, who should not be in it. It increases safety, it increases pride, and then create a liaison to the government council or mayor's office about connecting the ideas of the neighborhood, and then the neighborhood decides what uses they want within it. And I think that is important.
We have Patricia on the line. Let's get her on and then get another question going. Patricia, how are you?
I'm fine. The problem with Lynn is obviously economic development and the lack thereof of the leadership in that capacity. Question to these councilors is, what would each of you, or at least those who have been on the council, do if you are reelected to improve the economic development? And that would include, what would you do about those presently in charge at City Hall who have, how can I put it, let's say, let things sort of happen as they did rather than really be aggressive in bringing economic development to the city?
Daniel.
Patricia, it's great to hear from you. I hope the breeze from the ocean is wafting its way up to your house as we speak. And that way I keep your identity sacred. But zoning is a critical issue. We haven't updated our zoning plan since 1923. It's been patchwork. If you look at the current zoning plan, and Mike Donovan walks around with it, the chief of ISD, it's about this thick with paste, stickets and all kinds of papers shoved into it. It's a mess. We have to get real serious about redoing the zoning for the entire city, not just the downtown, not just when somebody wants to build near Federal Street, not just when somebody wants to build on the waterfront, but the entire master plan and also permitting. We've been working with the Chamber of Commerce because they're a huge part of this. And cooperation between groups like the Lynn Chamber of Commerce, the North Shore Latino Business Association are important for us as government officials to make sure that we have proper planning and permitting process so they can grow organically.
Online, Tom's on the line. We're going to keep moving the phone calls. Tom,
Hi.
it's going to be our last call, by the way, right?
My question has to do with a recent Lynn Item article that chronicles the 99 Chatham Street resident that has been recently cited for violations of the health code. It's been 6 years. This property has racked up $60,000 worth of violations in 6 years. Why are properties like this in Lynn allowed to fester, and what will you do about it?
Brendan and then Miguel. Go ahead, Brendan.
Just real quickly, it is quite a process to get a house like this removed. I've had a number in my ward, in Ward 5, and it's a struggle. It takes years and years and years, and I don't think it's any one entity you can point the finger at. There is a court process. These tenants do have rights. These homeowners do have rights. So I think as a city we must just remain vigilant with it. Recently over on Boston Street, my entire 4 years on the council was leading up to the demolition of this home, and there are properties like that throughout the city. We have to keep an eye on and work hard at. Eventually they do have success. Thank you.
Miguel?
One of the things we need to go back to what Cahill said a little while ago. We need to change the zoning laws in the state of right here in Lynn, in the city of Lynn. For example, if DIC has the power right now by tear down a house or take a property by eminent domain, that took some time for them to get approved to do that. They can do it now. But we need to change the regulations and the way people get the permits in the city of Lynn. Without the changes, we will continue to struggle for many years to come. So we need to do and change the laws right now, right here.
We're going to take a quick break. No, we got to.
We are.
Because we don't have enough time to do the closing statements, which are important.
Okay.
We're up against the clock, so we're going to take this break, and we'll be back with closing statements.
The City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself. This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food.
Hi everyone, welcome back. We are about to wrap up tonight's forum, and the way that we're going to do that is, of course, to give each candidate here tonight a chance to do their closing remarks, and we ask that you each keep it to a minute and a half, and I will let Joe decide who starts on that. But I will, but we really are going to keep it to a minute and a half, I'm sorry, just so we make sure you all get your turn.
1 minute?
Oh, actually, 1 minute.
1 minute, yeah,
Oh.
and we got to do reverse order. Which way did we start?
You started with...
We start with you, Miguel, so we're going to
now
go
we're
the
gonna go-
opposite.
Well,
1
just-
minute, wow.
1 minute now.
Okay, very quickly, a quick thank you to the hosts, to all the people that called in the audience here. It's so important to keep this two-way conversation throughout this election and really throughout every year. I think really the success of the city is going to depend on public's involvement, and tonight was a perfect example, and I think the candidates all did a great job, so thank you as well. I love this city, I love this job. I'm really excited to make the transition to Councilor-At-Large if I make it in there, and I think we've done so much in the past 10 years, and I think we have a lot more work to do, but I'm more and more hopeful every day in terms of our ability to make that progress, and I hope that everybody here will continue to be involved with the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your attention tonight. Thank you for everybody for coming out and your involvement. I'm Dan Cahill. I'm running for City Councilor-At-Large. I hope you consider me for one of your 4 votes on November 5th. Although I may have had a little fun tonight, I got to tell you, I take this job very seriously, and I love it. And I put passion into it. I come to it every day with intensity. I am your strongest advocate. I want to continue to be your strongest advocate. Please consider voting for me. Thank you.
Thank you, LynnCAM, City's Voice, the audience tonight, you at home watching, Joe, Cassie, all the candidates here. Again, the voters this fall have a big decision. You've got 4 votes. I'm asking for one of your 4 votes. I think if you're looking for a candidate that's going to think outside the box, bring some new ideas to the table, and has a vision for the city, I'd like you to make me one of those 4 votes. Thank you.
Again, good evening. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you for watching us. And thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. And I believe I have done my best I could to serve our city, to be your voice, and I want to continue to engage everyone in decision making. I want to bring the voice to the city hall, and I want to represent you all again. And I ask if you like what I have been doing, and please consider vote for me again. And you have 4 votes, like you said, so I ask for one of your 4 votes. And please have a good night. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Katerina Penachtakis Kudanis. I'd like to thank everyone in the audience, City Voice, Joe, Cassie, my loving family, and everyone listening out there in the audience, through the television set. Most importantly, I want to thank everyone in Lynn who does something to improve our city. There's thousands of volunteers in many different different parts, and without everyone cooperating together, working together for our, we all work for our city, for our hometown, for Lynn, and I just hope that. Well, I know it will continue, and I just want to say I love my city, and I just want to offer my perspective and help organize everyone's ideas. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone here in the audience, at home, the panel. LynnCAM, thank you for having us today. My name is Miguel Funes, and I'm running for office for Council-at-Large because I'm a fresh start, somebody new who wants to bring you some new ideas. Para las personas que hablan español, les pido que por favor salgan a votar y elijan a un latino como su representante. Gracias. Thank you.
Okay. Well, see,
Yeah,
now
that was
that's
awfully good, wasn't it?
it's funny because before Cahill was getting cut off, and then he did like under his time. So I don't know. I mean,
Well, we
see,
got
we
about,
got your
what,
we
4
got
minutes
your
left?
We got a few minutes left.
You know, you wanted to ask about eminent domain.
No, I was just going to say that I know that a couple of you mentioned about it, and I know that tends to be like the last resort is what we've heard. And so I understand someone called in about it, but I know that from having interviewed James Cowdell from the EDIC, we've talked about how, like Brendan said, it is a process, and unfortunately it's not quick, but that's also partly protecting the people who own the property so that there are other options offered before they get to that point of saying we're going to take it. And then, of course, if they need to, like Miguel said, they can. So I just wanted to make sure people understood that.
We did a show a while back with a couple of the candidates, and I brought forth the concept. I want to throw it out to you. It's my own private little thing. I'm obsessed with the fact that Lynn has all these wonderful buildings that are available, and you have up the street this thing called Salem University, no longer Salem State College. And I was wondering whether, particularly with Speaker McGee's son, who's now a senator, right, and the delegation you talk about, go trekking over to Salem and say, hey, we'd like you to put a campus in Lynn. And that campus, we want our own college that's devoted to marine studies, which would attract the type of intellect that you're looking for in the city of Lynn. So anybody respond to it.
I'm going to make your day here because the delegation is always talking with President Meserve and Salem State about bringing some programs from there to here. In fact, we've tried it this past year. They're looking to expand even more. The partnership is developing, even the speaker series that they brought.
We don't care if they call it Salem University. We don't have an ego problem, right?
No problem at all, and I think we're going to be looking to expand North Shore Community College as well. There has been money bonded for it. We just need to make that a priority on the governor's spending plan, which I know the delegation is working very hard at securing.
Really quick. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Really quick, yeah. The partnership with North Shore Community College is critical. They're putting a new they're putting a new facility on Union Street. Hopefully that'll go through soon. And also the Lower Washington development. That's going to work very nicely, and hopefully some new buildings down there as well.
I just wanted to, I'm sure you'll all agree with me, I wanted to remind people at home that you can reach out to the candidates online. I'm sure you have websites and Facebooks and emails. Can we you want to really quickly say the best way to reach you? Go ahead.
The best way to reach me is through email. It's brendan.crichton@gmail.com, or you can call my phone, 781-593-2490.
Dan Cahill, Councilor-At-Large, Facebook, Cahill-At-Large on Twitter, Vote Cahill on the internet, and my cell phone, 617-283-9279.
Thank you.
Clay Walsh. It's my name backwards, WALSHCLAY @hotmail.com. That's walshclay@hotmail.com. Phone number, cell phone, 781-521-7499. I'd love to have your support and your help this year. There's a lot going on.
The best way to reach me, my phone number is 781-738-6293, and my website is pretty easy, votehong.net, and my Facebook, HongNet, Councilor-At-Large HongNet. So contact me anytime. I would love to hear from you. I would love to do what I can to help out. Thank you so much.
CityofLynnConcepts.com is my website. Email lynn@cityoflynnconcepts.com. Many people are knocking on my door. I have a sign on Hunt Street. If you see the sign at the house with the giant column, number 64, knock on the door in the evenings or the weekends. And my phone number is 617-418-3009.
You can reach me at 781-608-3902. votefunes.com, Miguel Funes at Verizon.net.
Thank you, guys. And so we're wrapping it up. Next week, it's the ward counselors that we will have on to speak with you and to answer questions. And thank you to everybody who worked on the show tonight. Thank you to all the counselors at large. Good luck. Those candidates that couldn't be here, look for them as well. And thank you to our audience here and at home.
That's all, folks.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
You're the best.